I'm seeing that a lot of you, the idea of parenting techniques, what to instill in your children, or how to teach other people, like other people, especially children, what's important, a child around you, a lot of children. And I feel like for many of you, you want children, you want to, you want to create, you want to have, little replicas of yourself, and you see that in children. And for many of you, you might have your own children, but others, I'm sensing that you do feel in a way that you want to have a stable life, you want to have a stable home environment, you want to have a stable partner before you will bring a child into the picture, because you know that children innately are a lot of work. They're a handful. They're unpredictable, they're a little bit messy, and it's difficult. Like, you understand innately that it's very difficult. And so many of you, you might not have children until you are a lot older in your age, and you are, financially stable, professionally stable. But also the idea of having the partner that is on board with you for all of these things that you want as it relates to relationships and parenting. You want to have those things set up before you will, indulge in having a child. But I feel many of you are taking on the role of a surrogate mother or a surrogate father for young people in your life. So I feel like it could be, a niece, a nephew that you're heavily involved in their upbringing. It could be like younger cousins whose parents are not in the picture, so you feel like you have to step up. And then for others, it could be like, your own biological children, stepchildren even, I'm seeing in the picture. And so the idea of, I feel like for many of you, it's kind of difficult to figure out how to navigate that environment, because there is also, the mom or dad of that child. But also you might feel like, I'm going to do, my best to try to guide the child in the right direction, to teach him or her, to try to provide a foundation for him or her, or to educate and instill proper values. But then the mom or the dad might be absent in the picture for that child, so you feel like, I don't want to I don't want to take on that responsibility because it's not my place. But at the same time, they have absentee mom or dad. Their mom or their dad might love them, but there's something missing where you feel like you have to step in and interfere, or you feel like you have to step in and do something that you feel the mom or the dad is not capable of doing for that child. So there is a very strong fine line between not wanting the responsibility, but feeling like you need to step in. So my advice in this situation, if you're dealing with that, is, really pick your battles. And a lot of people feel a little bit discouraged. On the one hand, I feel like for many of you, you want to right wrongs. When you see a situation, and it can happen to anybody, not even somebody that's close to you or somebody that you care about. It can happen to anybody, and you feel like, wow, where's the justice? Who's going to make the situation better? And you do bring it upon yourself to make the things right. So I feel like you're very action oriented when it comes to righting a wrong, when it comes to righting an injustice that you see happening in front of you. And as a result of that, you might feel at times, I'm just one person. I can't really make a difference. But we're all just one person, but we can rationalize it in a way where whatever we can do for the time being, whatever we can try to alleviate, at least it's going to make a huge difference for that moment in time for that specific person. So it's like, don't think about so much about how you are just one person trying to help everybody. But, pick your battles, pick the cases that you feel are worthy, and do whatever you can in a situation without feeling discouraged that you're not making enough effort, okay? And at the same time, drawing back boundaries as well, knowing what is and is not outside of your control, and focusing on the things that you can make a difference about. So I'm seeing that element about you wanting to do more for a specific child, but not feeling as if it's your place, not feeling as if you want the extra responsibility, which is fine. And then for others of you, I feel like, so message number 2 that came through when I was shuffling earlier is I do see major revisiting of relationships. So this is relationship, business partnerships as well. if things have been a little bit rocky, I do feel tempers flaring up, so be very careful about that, okay? If you are living with your relationship partners, there's going to be some ultimatums given. There are going to be a sense of like somebody putting their foot down. I feel like it might be you putting your foot down, telling the other person, this is what I want, and this is how it's going to be. And I feel, especially if you share space with another person, or thinking about taking a relationship to the next level with another person, I feel like there's going to be some very, very clear ideas that you are presenting to a relationship partner to move things along, to not procrastinate anymore, and to try to, at least have a clear direction as to where you're headed, where are we going, what are we to each other. So I feel like you're going to be very clear, you're going to make demands. What I'm also feeling for some of you is, they mention, and it's really weird, I'm getting a lot of major across the board for all the readings, a major theme when it relates to parents, parenting, parents, co-parenting even. And I feel like you might have somebody in your, either a mother or a father, and they might be dealing with a little bit of, either a midlife crisis, or dealing with depression, dealing with situations where they feel like, oh, no one is here, I'm lonely, I'm isolated, I don't really have anybody to talk to. So then they kind of do this emotional dump on you. They try to, solicit you like, oh, let's go out, let's hang out, let's meet up. But you have a lot of things going on in your life. You're generally a very, very popular sign. People want to be with you. People want to be near you. People want to take you out, and they like to be seen with you. So you have a wide social circle, many of you. You have, even big family members, that you hang out with on a regular basis. And I feel for many of you, it might be a mother that is a little bit needy, a little bit kind of like guilt tripping you. So just something to keep in mind. Don't feed into it, Do not be with somebody or interact in a way where you allow somebody to make you feel guilty for something that you have no control over, okay? So if they're feeling on the outs and they're feeling like, oh, how come you never call me? How come you never make time for me? That's guilt tripping. And it does make you feel bad. And you feel, whenever you feel something, Aries, you feel like you don't just sit there and internalize and process the feelings. Whenever you feel something, you feel the need to act. You feel the need to do something about it. And I would urge you to slow down a little bit this month. And I would also urge you to be careful about getting sucked into a situation that can be manipulative, getting sucked into a situation where somebody guilt trips you. If that's what you're picking up from them, that's what it is. And, remove yourself from those situations and don't interact with those people, okay? It might not even be permanent, but I feel like it's an ongoing thing. And you are a pretty good, astute observer of people. But oftentimes I feel like when you care about somebody, you make a lot of allowances for them. You overlook a lot of their flaws. And I feel like someone is taking advantage of this, okay? I'm also sensing third message here. I feel like we can start going into the cards, because I feel like this is basically the third message. Money coming through from institution, things that you have to pay back, things that you owe, that you need to, like you owed at a previous time, that you need to start paying back. And then for others, the last message I have here is I do feel that finances will be getting back on track. So do not worry about it, okay? If you have financial struggles, I feel like things will be made right again. Things will be balanced out, and things will be brought back on track. So let's go into this reading here. The first thing that really jumped out at me here is, first of all, we have a water sign. So this is a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. And I'm feeling for many of you, this is somebody that you are like, they're mentioning emotionally in tune with, okay? So this is somebody that very often comes to you. This is you here as the Queen of Wands. Somebody who's very independent, who's very opinionated, who is kind of like, they see you, this person sees you, as like the pillar of strength and the pillar of stability. And they usually come to you for advice, or they really care about you, and they're trying to make a romantic gesture for towards you. For some of you, I feel like this is a romantic partner or somebody that like a romantic interest, but it seems to me very one-sided. It's almost like they really like you a lot more than you like them. And so they're coming in with kind of like in a shy, off-handed type of way, like not really sure where they stand with you, not really sure how to court you, how to make an offer to you. And I feel like you're trying to assess this person, and you're like, oh, I know that you like me. Why don't you just spit it out and be done with it? And so you're waiting for them to make a move, and they're going about it in a very roundabout type of way. So you might be as well dealing with a Cancer. This is Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, but the roundabout way that they're handling this situation makes me feel like it might be a Cancer. So you're waiting on it. There's going to be, some talk, some discussion, some romantic gesture, flirtation coming through from their end, but it's coming in a way where it's very indirect, okay? And then for others of you, I feel like this might be a family member, possibly a mother figure, or somebody that is in your family circle, family environment, cousins, extended family members, relatives. This is somebody that's kind of like always on the out, down and outs. They might have some financial issues linked up with them, financial shortages, financial, just like woes that they're dealing with. And they see that you're in a space where you are really abundant, and they are coming in not to solicit you so much for money, but I feel like they're coming in to solicit advice. They're coming in to ask for assistance. They're feeling down on their luck. They're feeling emotionally drained. They might have children that are emotionally draining them here with this Page of Pentacles. And so they really want you to kind of chip in. They want you to help out. They want you to be understanding. But I feel like your patience might be wearing a little bit thin with this water sign, because you feel like they're not taking charge. You feel like they're not ambitious enough. And you feel like the choices that they've made have been kind of poor, where they're not taking ownership for their responsibilities. So you're kind of straddling the fence, like, should I help them or shouldn't I? Should I hear this sob story, or should I just, brusquely like brush it off because I've heard it before? So there is going to be some major reassessment here happening in this interaction between you and an, excuse me, and a water sign. So Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. What I have as well with the Chariot card, and this card across the board has been coming out upright, reverse for many, many signs. The Chariot is forward momentum, forward movement, drive, ambition, a lot of discipline that you are bringing into your life, harnessing, into your life. So I feel like for many of you, you are being very strict and very stringent and very disciplined with your money, which is really good. And I'm really glad to see this for you guys as the first sign of the zodiac. I feel like you can go a little bit wild when it comes to money. So you want to be a little bit careful about this. I feel like many of you are saving up. Many of you are trying to, I see a lot of people, dieting, wanting to slim down, wanting to bulk up, wanting to shape up. So you're doing a lot of meal preparation rather than going out. I feel like you're saving money that way. And then for others of you, it's like curbing your emotional spending, being very diligent about, do I really need this, or do I just want it? Do I really want to waste this much money on this, or should I put it into my, savings account? So being very diligent about not emotionally spend money. And then I'm also seeing for others of you, they mention like new cars, possibly a new car, which means a new payment, like a new monthly payment that you have to do on a regular basis. So you're trying to save up for all of these things that you feel are essential. So I feel like a lot of control is being brought into your life for this month in terms of how you feel, what your drives and ambitions are, how to get ahead, how to, take care of all these practical responsibilities. And you're at a point where I feel like there's a lot of maturation happening in your own life. So we have this person coming through, and people are going to be coming in, and you're going to feel like oh, I have to help them out. But the thing is, pick your battles. You know, you're not here to help other people to fix their lives. You're not here to constantly be on the beck and call. So just be careful about, you know, people using your goodwill, and especially people resorting to this, constantly resorting to it and guilt tripping you, because this can indicate using manipulation in order to win somebody over, using manipulation in order to guilt trip somebody. Okay, it's a little bit of a underhanded type of way, being very indirect, not stating and seeing clearly what we want, and, you know, being very wishy-washy. So we're talking about that type of energy here. Um, on top of that, we have here an earth sign, so a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. And this is somebody I feel like you were emotionally connected to as well. And I feel like this is somebody that you might have shared resources with, you might have children with, or you might have really looked up to, admired at one point. I feel like for many of you, this might be a father figure where he's just seems to me a little bit burnt out. So whoever this person is, if you know, share assets with them, I feel like you're gonna feel like you want to give them, you know, your 2 cents. You're gonna feel like, you know what, you're messing up. Let me tell you how to do things. But you're gonna hold your tongue because once again, I feel like you're holding back, and you know it's not your place. You know that you don't want to step on toes, and you know that it is their battle that they need to fight, and so you are gonna be walking away from conflict, walking away, and also possibly seeing this person in a new light, whereas before you really looked up to them, admired them, saw them in a different light. I feel like this interaction is going to reveal to you. It's like clarity. It's like, you know, things being brought out of the darkness into the light. So you're going to get some information, and the way this person behaves is going to reveal to you that you weren't all that great. You know, you're not being emotionally supportive, or I feel like they're not being emotionally supportive. You might come to realize that, and you might also realize that they're not doing or behaving in an enlightened, in a correct way for you to handle this interaction with them. Okay, I feel a lot of family members for many of you, and I also feel love interests for others. Okay, what is coming through next? We have here the Five of Pentacles. So this is a situation where it deals with like feeling on the outs, being cast out from society, being cast out from a social group, being cast out from, you know, somebody that we trust. It's like two people whose paths are diverging. So whereas in the past you tried to keep things together, now you might realize that, you know, I'm better than this. I don't want to be in this situation. I feel like many of you are doing this, kind of like stopping communication with an earth sign. Okay, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. In the past, I feel like you've done a lot of work on yourself, and this might be an ex-relationship partner where you're just no longer jiving with their energy. You might have been stuck on them for quite some time, but I feel like this is the month where you start to pick your battle. You start to see them in a different light, and you also start to feel like they weren't there for me when times were hard. They might have had a tendency to just slip away, like run out, or, you know, run away when things got hard. And now that, and every time, you know, you try to move away, they always reel you back in for whatever reason. And you might have felt like you were the person constantly helping out, doing a lot, overextending in the relationship, and there wasn't a lot of self-awareness from their end. There wasn't a lot of self-awareness. There wasn't a lot of insights on their end. And the situation was just, it seemed like one person was doing all the work. And then it seemed like when things got hard, they're nowhere to be found. You know, I feel like this energy definitely can flow both ways, because I do sense that you have a tendency as well. It's kind of like fight or flight. When things do get hard, you do get kind of like emotionally scared. Not that you're physically scared, but you do get emotionally scared. And you don't know how to deal with it, so you try your best to process it, right? So you need some time away from the situation to process it. But I feel like there is an interaction in your life here, a major, major significant relationship, where emotions are not being expressed clearly between you and that person. I feel an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. There might as well, be like very good intentions from their end, but it just seems like your paths are diverging. You need to let it go. Karma being released here, okay? And then we end up as well with the Star card, which is basically overcoming hardships, overcoming a situation where we feel like, oh, was it my fault or was it their fault? Well, it takes two to tango, but the point is, with the Star card, it indicates healing. It indicates basically seeing the bigger picture, seeing that it might not be me or it might not be their fault. It's just as a unit together, we don't work well together. And then for others, I feel like there is massive, major overcoming of financial hardships, okay, as a couple, as a unit, or even as an individual. Taking control back of your life, overcoming external relationship challenges, as well as financial hardships. If you've been, on that boat for quite some time and it was very rocky, very unstable, I feel like there's major breakthrough happening for you. I feel for many of you, it could come via a new job. For others of you, it's like being given more responsibility, whereas before, you were giving this much responsibility and you were making this much money with the Page of Swords, which is not Page of Pentacles, which is not a lot. Now you're being given additional responsibilities where you can really help others, or you can be in a position where other people are starting to see your skills, what you bring to the table, your assets, your ability to assess and work through problems really fast. I feel like they're liking that about you. They like that you're a go-getter, you're a self-starter. You don't idle and wait around. You make things happen. So I see a lot of forward movement, fast-moving energy and momentum happening for you guys. You're going to be breaking out of your isolation as well. So social circle, people coming in and, making your social life very vibrant again, okay? So what was on hold before, I feel like it's coming back together once again. So I'm really happy to see that for you guys. It's always good to end the reading on a good note, especially when it comes to finances. So I'm happy to see that. So let me go into your love. Okay, so I pulled out 2 extra cards for you guys, mainly because I wanted to see which direction they're heading in. So you have some good cards, honestly. I feel like the cards are very clear, and at least, it shows me one direction, which is you're moving ahead. You're not really looking back, and you're not looking like yearning for the past, longing for the past, or even thinking like what should have, could have happened. I feel like the reading is very directed, very future oriented, very, there was definitely closure in your past. So in the past, we have here the Nine of Swords, which is, a lot of anxiety, feeling a little bit of guilt, feeling a little bit like, oh, is that person going to come back? Do I owe them an explanation? Are they going to explain to me? Are they overcoming their anxiety? So I feel like you were either dealing with some internal guilt that might have happened for you as a result of socially dating and feeling like possibly, talking to other people outside the relationship, feeling a little bit guilty about doing something that you're not supposed to, okay? And then for others, I feel like you might have had somebody in the past who was very, very anxious about their life. They either might be dealing with anxiety or nervousness, or they had a lot of financial worries, a lot of financial hardships. They had a lot of options on the one hand, and they're not really sure, like, what should I do with my life? What should I, where should I go? What should I do? And they were constantly stuck in this feedback loop where they're not really able to make decisions to move their life forward. So I feel like it was very cyclical. It was a very, very cyclical type of relationship. And I feel like your life is going really well because for many of you, I feel that it's the relationship. It's dealing with other people that brings you problems. Your own life, the way that you have it, the way that you manage it, it is always perfectly suitable for you and appropriate for you. It's other people that brings the problems. So you might have had a relationship partner that had attention problems, that, constantly, they're kind of drifting around without a sense of direction because, opposites attract, right? So drifting around, having a lot of financial anxieties, not feeling very settled, and constantly fearing the future. So we have that situation coming into the picture. We also, because the person brings this to the table, you might love them, you might really care about them, but you weren't sure about the direction of your relationship, okay? Moving into the present, if you're still in a relationship with them, and if you're dealing with an air sign, so this is an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra showing up here as the Knight of Swords in the reverse position. The Knight of Swords is somebody who is generally very honest, talks a lot, chatty, like very, very chatty, quite intelligent, but a little bit of a show off when it comes to how intelligent, showing off how intelligent he or she actually is. So this is also somebody that's really ambitious. When it shows up in the reverse position, they're dealing with, not being able to get things off the ground. They're dealing with a very slow, arduous process in getting them where they need to be. They also don't make decision rashly. They don't jump right in and ask questions later. I feel like they're very methodical. They like to plan things out, and they are trying their best to be a good relationship partner. I feel like there's a change around in this person's mentality. And it's linked up as well with the Seven of Coins. This is a card that is really, really good. It basically means you and your partner are on board. You both want the same things out of life. You both want to build a relationship from the ground up. You both want to work at things because there's a lot of love. There's a lot of mutual respect. And that there's a lot of affection between the two of you. I'm feeling there were a lot of ups and downs with this person. And, if you watch my readings, I don't advise getting back with exes because they're there for a reason. We learn from them and we move on. And likewise, they learn from us and they move on. But I feel like this is a situation where there is a lot of affection. It's very deep. It's very long, like a long-rooted relationship. And you might have at times questioned. I feel like for some of you, you might have questioned their words, and if there are trust issues, that's not going to work. But I feel like this is somebody that you don't doubt their words. They don't make promises unless they can keep them, because I feel like they don't jump right in until they know the whole story. So they're a little bit more reserved and more cautious, unlike air signs that typically ask questions later. Okay, so I feel like this is an energy where it can lead to a good relationship. Okay, in the present environment, I feel like for many of you there might have been some type of a one-sided relationship here. This is the Two of Wands, and the twos in the tarot always indicate like a relationship. When it's in the reverse position, it can indicate like long distances being bridged between you and another person. If you were seeing them at a distance, the two of you might come together. And I have here an earth sign. So this is a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn represented by this page of Pentacles. There is a distance being bridged between the two of you. There is a coming back together. I feel like if the relationship, if you're dating this person and you might have complained that the relationship is very one-sided, they're starting to kind of, I'm hearing, overhaul. Like, I'm hearing it's like the fire being lit from under them. And they're just like, I'm sorry, I took it for granted. I'm coming back. I'm trying to make things better. I feel like they are trying, and it's going to get better for a time, and then the two of you will revert back to your old ways. So I feel like some things here, old habits die hard. So be careful if you're dealing with this. Set very clear boundaries for yourself if you're dealing with an earth sign, okay? Old habits die hard, they say. So if you've done all the work and, now they're finally like, let me just chip in. See how that goes, but at the same time, just make sure you get past that 3-month honeymoon stage and then see if the whole new behavior becomes a habit or if old habits will reemerge, okay? Because I feel like they haven't really changed much. So the foundation is something that you are thinking about. We have here the Wheel of Fortune, which is a lot of abundance, a lot of options, the wheel turning in your favor in the upright position. So honestly, Aries, you're kind of like the life of the party. And so I don't feel like you're ever short when it comes to options in dating. And you're never short when it comes to friends that you can hang out with and mingle with and, people in your environment. But it's the quality of the people that you need to be careful about, okay? So this is like knowing what you're worth, not really settling for people that don't live up to your expectations, and knowing that there are a multitude of choices that you are that are available to you. So there's no need to revisit past relationships if they haven't really worked out. And we have here, this is your energy. This is the Queen of Wands in the reverse. I feel like you're coming to a space where you can admit some things about yourself. And a lot of it has to stem from behaviors in relationships that you need it to break. So this is a card about self-awareness, realization about yourself. You have a tendency to give a lot of yourself, to kind of like take over, be like that mother hen, to take care of your relationship partner, to, feed them and cook for them and do all of these superfluous things for them that they didn't really ask for. They never asked for it. So you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart, out of love, out of, wanting to care for the other person. When the other person doesn't ask for it and we do these things, it can make us resentful if they are not appreciative. It can make us resentful if we feel like they're not appreciative, right? And so you are learning to hold back a little bit. And then for others of you, I feel like you're tired of playing this mother hen role, tired of taking care of other people, tired of fixing a relationship partner. And then, once they're fixed, once they're done, once they're whole again, they might leave the picture. So I feel like you're approaching relationships in a different light overall. I'm not fixing people anymore. I want somebody who's ready. I want someone who's already, fixed. I want somebody who is whole. And so if that's the energy that you bring to the table, that's what you're going to be attracting. So it's not so much the quantity of people that are available to you. Aim for quality people. Aim for people without emotional hangups, without emotional baggage. We all have it. But whether or not we bring that and, kind of sling it around in our relationships, that's a different story. And you're coming to the realization that you're tired of being the fixer-upper. You're tired of, making other people whole. They should be prepared and well ready to date. And so when that mentality, when that little light switch comes off in your head, this is when new opportunities will be made available. Opportunities. The world basically indicates opportunities. It indicates expansion. It indicates as well coming into contact with worldly people, people who might be of a different type than you, like different ethnicities, different cultures, different upbringing, dating outside of your usual circle, not relying on the usual friends that you normally associate with and go out with and meet people with, but, possibly reverting to internet dating or even meeting people through different means. So I feel like you have some really positive choices. I feel like if it's new people, we have a big card here. If it's new people, I see an earth sign. If it's new, earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Make sure that you screen out those projects, okay? You need people to be whole. You don't need to fix them, okay? And so we have here the Ace of Pentacles, which is a brand new relationship. This is the beginning of something new. It needs to be nurtured. It needs to be fostered, and it can grow into something very beautiful and stable. We have as well in the past the Strength card. And the Strength card basically indicates a situation where there's a lot of attraction, but once again, different species, the idea of different species, two people not seeing eye to eye. This card is intensely about attraction. It's about seduction, attraction, and excuse me, wanting to have a relationship where there's an element of control. You're letting go of control issues. We have as well the Seven of Swords. This is kind of like scoping around, snooping, wondering what the ex is up to, trying to look at pictures online, etc. And this is also a card about, sneaking around, doing things that you're not supposed to. But I feel there is a major relationship for many of you. So I feel like old habits are being let go of and new habits are forming, which would be better for you. For those of you who were dealing with somebody that either cheated on you, I feel like it's making a comeback. Do not let that person back in. For others, if you have cheated on somebody, and I feel like there was a major struggle here, possibly earth sign and air sign, so you might have been juggling two options, and this is the time for you. I feel like there's going to be that air sign that comes into the picture, okay? Or that you're going to go with, okay? So I hope the reading has been helpful for you, Aries. I don't like to see, a lot of stepping outside of the relationship, but I feel like sometimes people take breaks in between relationships or with the relationship partner, and then they go and date other people for a while, and then they come back. That's fine, but just make sure you are a little bit more directed and consistent about the types of people that you want in your life so that you can attract the right things, okay? I hope the reading is helpful. I hope the month is good for you guys. And you have a lot of good energy, really positive energy. So, stay grounded, okay? I will be back in 2 weeks for the mid-month reading. If you'd like to book an appointment with me, please visit my website. It is in the description box below. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, okay? Bye-bye.